Hi and welcome to the second part of my review and sound exploration and comparison of the TD-3 MO by Behringer, and this is the regular TD-3. So I'm going to go through, I've downloaded some patterns from a website, they were free, I'll include the link beneath. So why have I got these two? Well, obviously they're music history legends, and now through to the thanks of companies like Behringer, they've made clones which are affordable for the masses. So now I have two things that I never thought I would be able to afford. It's almost like Rebirth but in 2022, and I think they would cost about the same as buying software from the 90s. So real hardware, analog stuff for the same price that software was 20 odd years ago. I've tried to get the sounds to match as closely as I can. So you'll notice that the filter cutoff on the TD-3 is open fully, everything else is minimized. This is the closest I can get these to sound like, these settings for this to sound like that. There still are some differences which I will discuss in a minute, even in the basic tones. So I've also got a drum machine over here, which is a IK Multimedia Uno drum. Just need to say, these are bought with my own money. The opinion that I give on these devices is my own. And also we have a Volcamix over here, which I've synchronized everything together. And then I've also got a Dr. J analog delay, shadow echo. It's a cheap one. It's not the best, but it gives that typical 303 sound, which we're all familiar with. So, without further ado, I'm going to play some patterns, and let's have an immediate comparison, right? They're both on square wave. I have to press start there, and then everything kind of else lines up, and then I press play on here. When my hand is like this, over either, that's the one that's playing. So at the moment, this one is playing. And then this one's playing. So I will try and get it so that my hand goes when it's the start of the loop. First impressions are, this has a lot more bass, a lot more bottom end. This was something that was described in the Devilfish manual, which I do think is a really, really good resource in terms of looking at what these extra functions do, which the Behringer Quick Guide doesn't really tell you a great deal about. So that's the first thing. Another thing you'll notice is that the cutoff here on this MO isn't even fully open, whereas this one is. So you've got a lot wider range of cutoff options that you just don't get on this. But before we go into that, I'm going to change it to the Sawtooth Wave, and we'll be starting again with the MO, and then we'll go to the regular one. So again, even with the Sawtooth Wave, there is definitely more bass from here. Now, from the MO, what Behringer have done that is unique to their clone is they've added a Sub Oscillator, which is great, but I didn't really think after listening to this it needed much more bass. However, you can turn the standard oscillator off, put this one on, and you can actually hear just the Sub Oscillator, which I think is just another square. And you've got 3 gain settings: high, mid, and low. So let's hear that. Let's turn it up a bit. Let's combine it. the sawtooth, turn it off. So again, it adds a bit more variation to the tone and makes this, in my ears and mind, a lot more flexible synthesizer than just the standard one. So I'm going to bring in a drum machine now, and we'll start with this one, and we'll hear some of the variation that this can do. I'm going to put it back to square, and then we'll do the same with this one. One thing I have noticed is that once you start to crank the resonance on the TD-3, it does drop in level quite a lot. Still got that nice. So let's add a bit of delay now. It's nice honk. Now the decay only varies the filter envelope, not the amplitude envelope, whereas this has a decay for the amplitude envelope and the filter. So you'll hear in a minute quite a few differences. That's that one. Let's hear it now with the MO. And as I said before, you can really open up that filter, but also you can reduce that filter cutoff to nothing. And you don't get the drop in volume that you get with this once you start increasing the resonance. Just add a bit more delay. Just using the basic controls, you've got a decay knob for the amplitude, which, as you'll hear, you can make it really snappy, which you're just not going to get with this one. And we can bring it again to nothing. So let's turn the cutoff down minimum on here, on the TD-3. filter cutoff reduces the sound down to absolutely nothing, which again increases the versatility that this synthesizer offers. So let's increase that. And another thing you can do is you can also change the attack. Again, can't get that tone from the TD-3. You get that slight little ramp. You can shorten the decay of the filter. But keep the amplitude decay. I think this still just works the filter envelope. Bring some more delay in. And another thing we can do is we can increase the slide time. It doesn't do quite as much as you would like, but still adds some variation. So now we're going to start to show you some of the other things that this can do that this TD-3 standard cannot do at all. So first of all, we can make the filter self-oscillate, and we do that by turning the accent sweep from 2 to 1. And using the filter tracking, I can turn the oscillator off. You'll notice it does start to get quite loud. So with a bit of playing around, you can actually get it. So the filter will now play the same frequency as the note once you've kind of got it set up. Without, it would just sound like this. A little bird cheeping. Can't do that on this one. And I do like the fact that you can almost change the pattern using just the filter tracking. So now let's bring up the accent. And using this knob here, you can actually change the decay of the accent. And then the sweep speed can be changed with this toggle switch here. then with the, well actually before we move on to the muffler, you can also trigger the accent manually. And then you would just control the volume of the accent with this knob here. Now the muffler kind of works a bit like a little bit distortion and also compression. And again, with extreme settings, it can round off. So that's useful. A little bit of a KLF style. Now, another thing we've also got in here is filter FM. Which isn't quite like FM synthesis, but again, it gives you more tones. Let's bring that sub oscillator in. So we're back onto this one at the moment. And now using the muffler again, you can see it just keeps those peaks just in check. Downside is the levels kind of drop the moment you start increasing the resonance. It's almost like you've got to put this into a limiter. So this one. What's weird is if you combine them together. That's both playing. So this is still both playing. The syncing capabilities on this are really, really solid.
So yeah, final conclusion and thoughts. This standard TD-3 is brilliant. For some reason, I don't know why, but whenever I use the DS, I don't know if it's just unbalanced cables or what, I'm getting a ground loop. So I haven't been able to use that yet. I think it might just be due to my cabling, and also got a lamp behind the camera. So, but otherwise, if you want that 303 sound, this is going to give it to you in bucket loads. If you want the joys of using the sequencer, you've got that too. And yeah, for the money you can pick these up for now, I think this is great. The TD-3MO gives you pretty much that, but it takes it, as you've heard, way beyond. And I would be more than happy to use this as a bass or lead synthesizer on its own, using the modifications to create its own sounds, rather than just purely be an 303 clone. Yeah, I do like that functionality. I like the options that you got with your CV gate in and out, your slides and everything else like that. I need to kind of get my head around that kind of connectivity with some of my other synthesizers, but you've got much more options on this than you do on that one. And negatives, I don't know why, but they put flashing LEDs in every single corner, which I don't know why. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in this light. Personally, I don't like. Especially when half of the case is yellow and then half of it is kind of like this translucent black, whereas this is all yellow. I don't understand the logic of that, but that's what they did. Get one if you want a really, really cool synthesizer that has lots of variety beyond the basic 303 sound. Don't get it if you want a mono synth that is capable of something like a SH101 or an MS1, because it's not quite that versatile. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to using it in my other projects. If you found any of this useful, smash the like button, subscribe button. It really does help. And that way you'll see a lot more videos that I will be doing, demonstrating some quite unusual and interesting studio recording music stuff. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.